Okay, I think I'm obsessed. Let me show you.
Hi, welcome to Tune In, Tune Out, the Digital Marketing Dispatch, hosted by me, Duchess Robinson. This podcast, we're dedicated to exploring the ever evolving world of digital marketing. Join us as we delve into the latest trend, strategy, and innovation with leading industry experts and thought leaders on digital marketing. Hi, this is Duchess Robinson, and okay, so based off of the information about providing, I got a question, what type of security risk are equated with, the having the domain and the hosting in separate accounts. So let's go here. So I'm going to give you probably seven risks, security risks, by having your hosting and your domain in a separate account. So, again, from the previous podcast, I talked about the pros and the cons and what I think. But, questions, okay, what are the issues? So, let's go with DNS hijacking. If your domain registrar has a weak security, hackers can manipulate the DNS settings to redirect traffic to a malicious site, compromising user data and damaging your website's reputation. And also, Google will put you on a blacklist. Yeah, there is a blacklist for Google, and I've seen it happen for certain companies, organization, and I'm not going to mention it. That's why I don't deal with it. I've seen it happen there. Number two, man in the middle attacks. So what is that? It is poorly secure DNS settings that can be intercepted by attackers, allowing them to eavesdrop on data exchange between users and your website. So if you have an e-commerce website and there's a transaction that goes between the two of you, so case in point, credit card information, location, social security, all of those things. It is horrific. It is one of the worst things that can happen, that your site is hacked. And you ever receive those emails, generally that's what occurs. If it happens to them, for you having a poorly configured website and DNS, this is what happens. Another thing that happens is domain um, expiration and squatting. If you miss your domain, cyber squatters can purchase it and potentially demand a high ransom for its return, or worse, use it for malicious purposes. So yes, you do have domain and cyber squatters. And for my website, Black Girls Hair Rock, for some reason, I missed the renewal. No, actually, I didn't miss it. I decided to take the website and make it smaller, and I got rid of the bigger, longer domain. And what happened was, when I looked it up, and so maybe I'll just buy it and just point it when people look it up for SEO purposes. They wanted to sell that particular domain, and a renewal or purchase is around $10 to $12. They wanted, I think it was $80,000 for that domain. Yeah, that's what happened. So another thing I've seen, and here's another issue, and this is number four: inconsistent security policies. Different providers may have varying security protocols, and it can be inconsistent and can lead to vulnerabilities. such as outdated software or misconfiguration settings. It makes it easier for attackers to exploit your weakness. That's why I say it's a no no. Do not do it. Specifically, if you're doing it on your own. If I'm a person that's managing your domain, okay, we can get away with that. But I'm going to tell you, in my industry, people flip domain web designers and developers often. They do. So having those in there, you may have one that's good and you may have one that's not so good. You don't know until it happens. So again, have it right there. Unsecured transfers. Here's another thing. When you move your domain to a different hosting provider, insecure transfer processes can expose sensitive information and potential threats, leading to data breaches. Yeah. Like I said, there's a crack in the middle, and when there's a crack in the middle, it makes it easier to break. That is the best way I can expose it. When you don't have it all together and it's linked and it's all in one area, and some developers use don't leave your eggs in one basket, but I told you how to um, vent those type of issues. That happens. Another thing is email spoofing and phishing. And what that does, if your DNF, blah, if your DNS records such as SPF, DKIM, or DMARC are not properly configured, attackers can spoof your email domain and send phishing emails receiving your clients or users. This is what happens when you separate your domain and your hosting. These are the potentials. You don't hear that when they're all together. All you hear is, oh, your website can potentially go down and you're boom, you're done. But if you did exactly what I said in a previous podcast, you have your backups emailed to you, which you have it in a third party area, which you can retrieve at any time. So if anything goes down, you're always protected. The next thing is the brutal force attack. Weak or outdated authentication methods at your domain registrar or hosting provider can be exploited by attackers to gain authorized access to your domain settings or hosting account. So ensuring robust security practices and regularly auditing your configuration can help mitigate these risks. I'm telling you, one of my websites. So this is the new scam. They couldn't get into the website backdooring because I have it hosted together. So I received an email, and this is how I know they tried to backdoor. They went through to the email that I set up the account, which I hardly ever put the proper information, and they tried to say in that email, and I'm trying to remember it from word. I ordered this product from your website, and I didn't get it. I didn't get a receipt sent to me, but they took the money out of my account. I went back to research the email that it was sent from. Catch this. And the email was from another organization. So I looked up the person's name to see if it was on there. The person's name was not listed in that particular company. So what they did, they basically did an email spoofing of this organization. So if I went back and say, oh, okay, let me return your money, or let me give you your money, and I found out that it didn't happen, and I went after this company, we don't know anybody by the name of that. So that was one. And how did I handle it? And I know that's the question that's going to be asked. What wind up happening is I said, okay, please provide a screenshot of the amount that was taken out of your account. Please provide your name and your address so we can look it up. Never heard back from them again. So you have to check, double check, and triple check. And this is recent. This is recent as maybe 3 or 4 days ago. So yeah, that's all of the things. That's why, based off of the things I've seen, witnessed, and been a part of, this is why I say and I stand 10 toes down. Please make sure your hosting, your domain are in one place. Make sure that you have backups of your website sent third party to you. Because what will happen is once it's built, it's sent back to you. If anything happens to that account, you have backup. And you're secured and you are connected. So again, thank you for listening.
Okay, I think I'm obsessed. Let me show you.